Everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Ah, thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. Oh my God. For the longest time, you guys, I would wait for my birthday every year because I'll get into it in a minute about how much healing this day used to bring up for me. Every single year, the one day in which Siman and I used to fight in our first 5 years together was on my birthday because it brought up all my healing from my childhood. Turkey, oh my God, someone's here from Turkey. I love Turkey. Adana, the Adana kebabs. Thank you, Merlin. Oh, that's so beautiful, you guys. So beautiful. Oh,
We're getting all of your comments and we're
Shannon.
just basking in them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Feels so good to receive this love.
And you know, it's so funny. Siman said, "Do you want to go out for dinner? What shall we do?" And we had a massage booked in the morning. So we had 2 hours each. And Siman very sneakily rushed off somewhere on the pretext of bringing us water from Whole Foods. He's like, "I have to go get water." And I'm like, this sounds very suspicious.
Well, it was kind of a lame cover-up story.
It was very lame. It was very
It
obvious.
was quite suspicious on the day of her birthday, so...
So anyway, he just went out. We don't, nowadays, now that the healing is complete, we don't make birthdays a big day anymore. It's just another day. And I actually want to get in a little bit later to about how programmed this day is, but we'll start. But I want to start off by showing you what, you want to
I
say
actually
something?
want to light the candle for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
sure.
be amazing.
Okay.
So Siman just got me stuff and I haven't even opened it. I don't even know what's inside. He just gave it to me like 3 minutes ago.
So this is a brand new candle.
He
I
just
got
gifted
for
me
EldoRA.
that. It's a
It's
sandalwood, my favorite.
with beeswax. Make sure you don't use chemical waxes at home because they're just horrible.
Oh, I love it. I have all my drinks going. I have Shiljit, I have water, and I have red wine. We'll start with red wine.
The birthday girl gets it all.
Yes.
Okay, you have to blow the candle and
Oh,
we'll
that's
sing
so
for you.
sweet. No singing,
No?
no singing.
Okay,
Just
fine.
say a prayer.
Fine.
Say
We'll
a prayer for Siman and me. And let's bring in the love of the archangels to surround all of us. And may all your beautiful wishes that come from love, that come from so much love that we all feel as a soul family, be enhanced by this cosmic flame. Do you want to say anything?
May all your dreams and wishes come true.
And so it is.
So it is. Happy birthday!
Don't say those words. Okay,
Well,
light that candle again.
It's kind of obvious.
And I'm going to take a sip.
Sorry, what was I looking for?
Let's light the candle again.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you guys, 213 people in the house. This is so spontaneous. We didn't even feel like going out. We just went in the morning, I know it's lame, but we're like, let's just have Starbucks and a nice chocolate croissant, get our massage, and then we'll take it from there. So that was what Siman, he just gave me 2 minutes ago something,
And
and
we both just finished a 2-hour massage each, so we're both
so he
like
gave me
jello.
a card, which is cute, for the sweetest girl in all the land.
You know the card that best fit EldoRA? I found it in the daughter section because to me she's like
Aww.
this adorable, cute little girl.
That's
who just
extremely
lights up the
sweet.
world.
You know that he calls me girl, like girl with a U, like G-U-R. He's always like, you're girl. And you know what it is, you guys? Many of you know this, like this reverse aging stuff. It is so real.
Yeah,
I literally feel, and Siman recently, you started reverse aging recently
Well,
too.
not as much as you. But, I mean,
I'm
getting
reverse
there.
aging like crazy. And I'm literally feeling like my 18-year-old self. It's in my behavior, it's in the way I
Her
dress.
body is morphing literally, like she's shedding weight in like all the right
It's
spots.
morphing, and I'm not eating
it's
any
like
differently. It's just
Her
ascension.
body is literally morphing into her 20-year-old version.
Yes.
It's quite exciting.
Siman's over the roof about that. that's a story for another day. But yeah, this ascension, this whole thing, you guys, is like such an exciting path. I can honestly tell you, oh, thank you all so much. So beautiful. Every single loving wish and loving prayer and everything you're sending to me, I send back to you, my friends. I send back to all of you. You guys are one of my biggest blessings.
We need some music from the House of Ra.
Yes.
Yes,
Those damn people of YouTube copyright us, so. But you know what? I honestly want to say, just like I feel Siman is my biggest blessing in life, I honestly want to extend that to every single one of you. Whew. I don't, literally, when Siman said to me today, what do you want to do? And I connected with my heart, I said, I want to spend it with Soul Family. And unlike other days, when I come on, you know, looking my best, feeling my best, fully in my channeling mode, today I actually feel a lot of heaviness and I feel a lot of sadness in the collective. And I usually don't make videos when I feel this way. And what I was told just before I started making this video, Siman and I were both feeling it, like the Divine Mother, Divine Father kind of sadness. And you know what he said to me? He says, I think many mothers are feeling this in the collective right now. Many of our soul family are feeling
many mothers are grieving right now for some reason.
It's like this grieving, sad energy. Do you guys feel it? Comment, let us know. It's this grieving energy, and it's this
if you don't, we don't mean to make you sad, but
it's this pit in my stomach, and I don't know what caused it, but yesterday I was at the gym, and the damn TV kept showing children, little like boys and girls.
A lot of people are feeling it from the comments.
Cutely sitting down and wearing a mask and getting the jab. And I don't usually watch the news, but something about that, like it hit me. Now that they're going after kids, it just hit me very badly. And I feel like I'm processing some of that today. And I feel like many of you are feeling the same.
And it's also a bit heavy knowing that it's only been a year or two for us to discover the horrible things that in our history have been done to children and all the missing kids and all that. And now we have to watch that again, and it's happening in front of our eyes. So that's a bit heavy. So that was all being felt in the collective, and whatever shows up, shows up.
Whew. And as we were preparing for this live, we both got the same message at different times. And I looked at him and I said, for some reason, I'm getting a feeling that we need to talk to mothers and fathers in our audience who are having a hard time with their children. And he's like, oh my God, I was shown the exact same thing. So I don't usually cry like this watching the news and stuff. This is very new for me. And I just feel like right now, Soul Family, we just need to allow ourselves to feel. Allow ourselves. We've numbed ourselves so much all our lives that something right now is coming up in the collective. It's this healing of children is really coming up. So we're all, for all of you who are tuning in, we're creating just with our love a very sacred container, and we're grieving together. And when I say grieving very mindfully, when I say grieving, I just mean processing Gaia's heavy emotions for all the mothers and all the fathers. And you know what? Our children are safe. Nobody can touch our children. No harm will come to them. Knowing that, even knowing that, it just shakes our world to see little children on the news, like innocently, having all of these things. So anyway, so if any of you are feeling heavy, we're going to let it go into this container and send it down for the Ascended Masters, for Gaia. Like we're all doing this together, this purge.
Let's take 5 minutes to clear for the collective. Since it's up and it's heavy.
Sure. So we're going to take a few minutes to clear for the collective. This is very powerful work since we're all doing it together and so spontaneously. I love you too so much, Zani. I love you too. I've cried a lot today. Yeah, I felt the same.
Yeah, we were both feeling it. I was feeling the mother's pain in my heart because we're all divine feminine and masculine. So I feel the mother's pain too. And I have a very powerful mother energy within me.
Yes.
So
we'll do that, and then we'll go back to opening all the gifts and everything. Let's do that.
Heaviness that's in the collective.
It's very sweet.
So let's start by closing our eyes. You can find yourself in a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down is just fine. And take a moment to just catch your breath. Just bring your awareness into your breath. Breathing normally, in and out. Observe your breath as it deepens. Your breath goes from shallow to a more fuller breath, more deeper, going into the depths of your lungs. Breathing in deeper, and as you're breathing out, also breathing out deeper. You can breathe out from your mouth as if you're releasing, purging. So breathing out from your mouth, breathing in, bringing in white light as we're breathing in. Bringing in white light from the top of our heads, going downwards through our crowns, and asking the divine, asking Prime Creator, the source of all that is, to bless us with the energy of unconditional love for us, for our children, for all of our coming generations, to clear the collective of all these lower dense astral energies, to forgive us for all the mistakes we have made, and to correct our ways, show us the guiding path clearly and precisely, so that we may treat our next few generations with a lot more compassion than we have in the past. May all families reunite in the futures as they are meant to be, together in harmony, sharing beautiful, wonderful memories. May we educate our children, may we truly educate our children to find the light, divine light within their hearts, to connect with universal knowledge, to connect with the wisdom of the land, to connect with the wisdom of our ancestors, to connect with how to live in balance and harmony with our natural environment, how to live in balance, harmony, and peace with each other, how to maintain a high state of consciousness while being rooted in the heart, while being grounded as a human, walking this spiritual path. May we all co-create such a beautiful heaven on earth together.
Where the children walk free, where they play in the mud and they are free, they're safe, they can play on the street, they have friends and neighbors to play with. They don't really need to go to meaningless school, because we're actually teaching them so much more in our communities. May our children always be safe, and for every child on the planet right now, I love you. I love you. You are safe. And for every child on this planet, I want you to know that you are powerful, that you are powerful, that you are sovereign, that you have a big role to play on this planet, that you are our teacher. The future is incredibly bright. Even though the chaos right now may be shaking us up quite a bit energetically, the future is insanely bright. And to every child out there that perhaps has not felt love ever, not once in his or her lifetime, for every child out there that's sleeping hungry, sleeping thirsty, sleeping without proper clothes because of poverty and because of the tyranny of these governments that loot our taxes instead of helping our children. To every child, every soul suffering right now, every animal suffering right now, we send you our love, we send you our thanks, we send you our immense gratitude for choosing to incarnate on this planet and do such heavy lifting in the name of evolution. I love you. And today, I wish to send you all a blessing from my heart to yours. A blessing full of love, magic, wonder, joy, abundance. A sweet hug. Someone to say, I love you. I love you. You are so precious. You are so adorable. You are so cute. You are so loved. Dear Father, Mother, God, we ask you to please bestow your divine light upon the children on this planet. Keep every child safe, protected. And may this period move by quickly, because it is getting very dense on earth. We know that the light has won. We know that the light is victorious, but it's getting very, very heavy. And we ask you to please give us all incredible strength, courage, and feistiness, and drive, and passion by constantly helping us clear the density on this planet, so that we may be the beacons of light and love and hope and sunshine that we naturally are. This is something much, much better for the highest good of all. May it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. I was getting the same thing about the density. This is all part of the process. The next few months as we approach this winter are going to be that of transition. So we are all in the best seats in the house because we have a clear picture with the wisdom that has been shared with us from our guides, from Prime Creator, from God. We're in the best seats in the house because we can weather the storm knowing what's happening. We have a good perspective on all the dimensions, and we know what we came here to do. That makes it so much easier. So our job, my dearest soul family, is to just hold the light for planet Earth during these harsh times where so many people are awakening rudely right now, and they have so little time to prepare for the shock as they grasp and come to terms with their own realities in their lives. So there's a lot of that floating around in the collective, and the best we can do is give love to ourselves and share the same love out into the world. That's what we're doing every day. We just have to feel it all. We can't bottle it up. We can't ignore it.
Feeling it.
Feeling is
That's
the biggest
the key.
gift.
Feeling
And
these emotions, yes.
a wise person once told me that you feel an emotion that needs to be processed once. It feels very yucky and it may feel negative, but once you feel it, it's done. That's it. You're never going to feel the same emotion twice. I mean, it may be related to the same topic, but once you give yourself the dedicated time to purge and self-love, then it actually leaves you. Then you don't feel as dense the next day. So.
And honestly, soul family, you want some maybe? Honestly,
No,
soul family, I wouldn't mind some Shiljit in a
Yeah.
bit as well. Is it ready?
Yeah, it's ready.
You know what was I gonna say? What were you talking about?
About
How dense it is.
that we just.
Oh, yes, I remember. And you know what, soul family, I'll be honest, just like somebody just said, we are your beacon of hope, and your comments honestly have gotten next level. Honestly, I don't know how you guys write like that. That only shows me how in your hearts you are, because you have to be fully in your heart to be able to express warmth, which you guys are champions of. And it's a very, very big, humble privilege that fills me up with so much gratitude that we have a soul family like you to call our family. On days like today or every other day, that's Siman in the kitchen. He's very noisy. For every other day, honestly, soul family like this is meaningful to me. This connection that we share is meaningful to me. That's what it just boils down to.
Okay,
You
before
are
we
a
go
diamond
ahead,
too.
show them your gifts.
Okay, I'm going to show you all our gifts. So first of all, our lovely assistant Lisa, who lives in Costa Rica, sent me this. It just arrived at my door.
She literally texted her and said, "There's something outside your door," and we open it, and there it was.
So Lisa sent me that. I love you, Lisa. Ever since Lisa has come on board, oh my God, it's been like we're just going like that, the speed of light. Whoops. And careful. And then Siman brought me this. He just got it for me, literally.
What a coincidence, right? I had no idea about the other gift. From
444
Lisa, so
people in the house. I love that
Lisa,
number.
if you're watching this, we think alike.
Yeah, like they both think alike. So look at how gorgeous these are. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. And what else? You saw the candle. I'm going to open Siman's gift in a second. I want to show you what I bought myself, you guys. So this is what I bought myself. You know how we're living the vagabond, 5D vagabond life? I don't have a spot to put all my bracelets and everything. So I'm going to show you what I bought. I ordered it on Amazon. And I love it. And Siman's, look. Can you see?
Adorable.
Look.
It even has little drawers. Oh my goodness.
Look, it's so adorable, and it has all these like things for my
now
earrings.
You see why I call her a little girl?
Can you see? So it's like a little jewelry case, and I find it so nice and compact. It fits in my suitcase easy, and at least my rings and stuff like have a place, because I'm losing stuff left, right, and center. And you know, Siman was telling me just before we started, he says, I love that you're such a girl, like a girly girl.
And she's like, I never used to be a girl before I met you. And I'm like, what?
Never, you guys. Before I met Siman, I was a man. I know it sounds crazy, and I want many of you women watching to reflect on this. I was so masculine. I still looked very feminine, but not like this. I was so...
You were always hot, let's just say that.
Thank you, and you're my biggest fan, so that's... And you're always hot too.
Even as a man, you'd be hot.
So, ew. Anyway, so what was I saying? So, I know, that's funny. But I was so masculine because I always shouldered everybody's burden. I always took everybody's burden. I was everyone's mother and everyone's sister. And there was this one time when I was 30, my friends and I went to Vegas. My friends, like from the fake social circle. And I remember we all went to Vegas, and in my head, I had never had alcohol. So in my head, I thought, yes, I'm going to go and get like drunk. I'm going to drink and have fun and even go to like a cute little strip bar. I didn't, not in like with a bad intention, but just to have fun. So I went to Vegas, and guess what? The first night, we were all in the pool at the Wynn. There was a pool party all night. It started at midnight and went on till 6 a.m. We were in our bathing suits, and we were just in the pool the whole night. And all 5 of my friends started acting so weird with like young guys, like 20-year-olds. Listen, I have no issue flirting around with a hot guy. Close your ears. Not now. Now that I found him, I don't need to flirt. But before him, I would have no problems flirting with a short. But these are like 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds. And my girlfriends, because they were so repressed from the Pakistani culture, they started flirting around and going in the pool and sitting on these boys' laps. And I'm thinking, holy shit. And I became guardian. I didn't drink any alcohol. Instead, guess what I did? I went to all the boys and I said, you're not buying them their drinks. I will pay for it and make sure that, because I didn't want them to date rape them or whatever. Who knows what happens in Vegas? I was so stupid that I didn't enjoy myself, and I took care of all these girls. And guess what? The minute we went back, the most horrible thing happened to me. The minute we went back, all these girls, and many of you will be shocked by this, they all spoke and they said, listen, the only one who didn't do anything stupid was me. So they said, you know what if she goes around telling people that we, fooled around? And I don't care if they fooled around. I have no judgment on it. Listen, these girls are super repressed, and if they choose to, kiss a random 20-year-old in the pool, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't judge them for such things. Guess what? When we went back, I was just happy and normal, like we've had a good trip. We were there for 4 or 5 nights, and they all turned against me, and they started spreading rumors about me. And I'm like, what is happening? So it was so traumatic for me. It was horrible. Thank God now.
And they were even blackmailing her, like, if you tell anyone this, we'll tell them that. And we're like, whoa.
Crazy. So anyway, that's how much of a guardian I've been to people. And finally, when I met him, for the first time, I could feel like, oh my God, I can actually like fucking let loose. I can, smoke some marijuana. I can drink some fucking tequila. I can have a few shots, because finally I met a man who could hold me.
We were like a bunch of college kids.
Like who could take care of me, who I could trust, even though when it comes to like MDMA and stuff, which we don't do anymore. Oh my, right now MDMA on our journey would be a fail. It would be an ascension fail. They'd be like
any chemical drugs.
Chemical
is
drugs?
A big
No,
no-no
no,
for
no,
light
no.
workers.
So anyway, back in the day when we were dating, we loved MDMA because when I met Siman, I hadn't done any of this shit. I was like this really boring, 5 times praying, like fasting every Ramzan, so fucking repressed I didn't even know it. And when I met him, he's like, hey, let's go have fun. So we'd go to the fucking Gov in Toronto, and we'd, he introduced me to MDMA, which became my favorite. Oh my God, I miss MDMA. If there's one thing I could do, I wish I could do that, but nope. So I hear you, Morris is my papa bear, exactly. So anyway, we did all of that. Where was I going with that? But I just feel like I'm in a container where I can have so much fun. I can do whatever I want to do in this container, and I feel so held, and that is what's contributed to my healing. And now I'm girl. I'm perfectly a perfect balance of masculine and feminine. So the message for all of you, if you don't know what MDMA is in Susan, forget I said that. It's something we're not. It's not. It's a chemical drug,
something
which is not
you're
good
never
for
gonna
you.
need.
You're never gonna need. Anyway, these guys are adults. They know. But so the journey from me being so masculine, even the way I dressed, to feminine was a huge one. And when people came to our retreat, we even said to the women, we said, you know what? Many of them were dressing very masculine, and many of you watching are in that boat. We said, start changing the way you dress. Take off your bra. On day 2, day 3, all the women took off their bra, and they started looking so feminine. Akasha, I'm talking to you right now. Akasha, this amazing, and I saw your pictures in Vegas. You're starting to dress masculine again. So
we keep tabs.
No,
on
MDMA is not therapeutic. I'm sorry to differ on that. It's not, because it's a chemical drug, and that's like a very harsh thing right now on our ascension path. No chemical drugs. It's fine. Somebody said it can be therapeutic.
No, not
so anyway, so I mean, be aware, because in that state, entities and stuff can attach. But I just feel so much like girl right now. Okay, so I showed them that. Now I'm going to open this. Look at that. He packed it himself. How cute.
He has no idea what this is.
Oh, I have no idea what it is. Ta-da-da-da. Oh, and tomorrow we're going for lunch. Even though today I didn't feel like going out. Tomorrow we have an amazing brunch booked at this 5-star hotel in Palm Beach. And they have the most amazing food. And they're right on the beach. So right after our lunch, we'll go lay on the beach. Ooh. Oh my God, no. I think I know what this is. What is this?
It's a writing pad for all your notes, and it's an e-book reader.
Look at what he got me.
And it basically, this is called Remarkable. It's a writing pad. So EldoRA, I see she's constantly writing on all these notepads and books.
And I lose all of them.
When she needs it, it's nowhere to be found.
And
right?
he's the other. He's like the record keeper.
So
he writes everything.
This thing actually, when you handwriting on it with a stencil, basically it converts your handwriting to text and uploads it to Google Docs. So I'm like, that's perfect.
Lisa, get ready. I'm going to be writing you a lot of notes in my new book.
And that's the leather.
How do I write?
That's the leather case. Oh, the actual pad is in here, and there's a marker that.
So I can write on this, and it'll go to the computer?
It'll go in text to Google Docs. And you can like sign documents.
Holy
you can
shit.
read ebooks.
Okay, so I can, whenever I get a channeling, I write it down, then I lose the book. This is my story, which is why he got me this. I'm writing it down in whatever paper I find, and he's like, what if you lose this paper? I don't like typing, even though I'm a very fast typer.
And even the screen of this thing, I haven't felt it or tried it yet, but it's supposed to be like canvas.
It.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I love it. That is crazy. Oh. What else do I have to show? I guess that's it for now.
That's it.
And the candle, which he got me just now, the sandalwood candle. I love it. I love it. Okay. What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, well, tell them about that, how sons, when they...
Okay, guys, for some reason, we're being called to share this with you. Just about children. So many of you know my story of how my son, who was the love of my life, literally something happened, and I came to know a few years ago that he was manipulating me, lying to me, stealing left, right, and center for me. I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars under my very nose, because I had a business and I didn't keep track of money at home because I didn't think I would be living with thieves. And he got caught once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, and nothing shifted. And I was like the mother of mothers, honestly. My son is now 18. He just turned 18. So anyway, I had to basically pass a very powerful initiation, which I did. It's of unconditional love. Where, and many of you, if you guys are interested, there's an amazing video I made about it. It's called Screw Mother's Day. I made it on Mother's Day. It was just very impromptu. And I asked him not only to leave my house, it took everything from me, and my guides were holding space for me. Siman was holding space for me. This was just before I started YouTube, because my life had become so chaotic, and many of you right now are in that boat where your children are making your lives very chaotic, especially your teenagers. And one of our soul family actually wrote to us, and we happened to see her email, and she said, oh my God, my son, she has 7 children. She's a single mom. She's a starseed. All her children are starseed through and through, and she's really going through a tough time. And she actually lives in an RV, and she said, I have 33 cents in my bank account. And while we don't give money out unless we know the person well, we know this person because 2 years ago we contacted her for something else. So we sent her some money to get her by winter. And seriously, anyway, she's going through all this with the son. And I'll be honest with you. The biggest breakthrough for me was when I could stand in power with my own son, with my own love, with my own baby boy, and say, this has gone too far. I love you, but I love me more. I love you. And he tried to use my spiritual jargon back on me, saying, aha, what about unconditional love? And I said, unconditional love doesn't mean I take your bullshit. Unconditional love means I love myself more. I love myself the most. That's what unconditional love is. So long story short, I asked him to leave my house, and instead of having any kind of remorse or apology, he actually, oh, thank you. Someone said start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're very particular about these things, because be aware, guys, in the spiritual community also there's a lot of scammers, but this person isn't. So if a few of you want to do the GoFundMe, sure, we can start a GoFundMe, or so, we'll see. We'll tune into that a little bit more. Yeah, many people are asking. I think we should do that.
Yeah, and there might be many.
There might be more, but there's a lot of people. Like she literally said, I'm going to use this money to repair my windshield, and so that I can. Anyway, this
like literally to buy groceries for her 7 starseeds.
Yeah, and these kids are all starseeds through and through, and there's 7 of them. So anyway, this happened, and then I asked my son to leave. This was 2 years ago, and he left with an extreme fuck you attitude. He's like, I'll go to my dad's house. And the RESP, which I was holding, you guys, many of you know the story, his education fund I was holding it because his father, this is how the universe played a joke. Right from day one, we thought his father would squander away that money. So we made sure it was in my name, because I'm a very responsible person. Like, I can be trusted with money and stuff. It doesn't faze me. So I said, okay, I'll hold on to it. And then when all of this happened, I got guidance from my own higher self, my own guides, saying, okay, he's treated you like this, like this, like this. Do you want to let go of that 50,000 or 60,000 that you have in his LOC and hand him that money for him to go get a college degree? Or do you want to unconditionally, lovingly give him a slap on his face to show him the contrast of what a woman can be like when she gets back in her power? Can you show him what a mother who doted on you, who pressed your stinky feet every night, who did so much for you, she's capable of doing exactly the opposite. And so when my guides showed me that, for me it was an instant yes. Something just came over me. This was a week before I started my YouTube channel, just so you know. That's why I always say that in this spiritual, like in our journey, we need courage, we need balls to do hard things.
And the guided message we got was that Divine Mother can be very fiercely loving and compassionate, but she can also be Kali. So the dark and the light are both aspects of the mother. And the dark is not evil, it's just there to teach us how to keep boundaries, because sometimes we need to protect ourselves. So the energy of Kali is also very divine for all the mothers out there. If you're dealing with hardship, if you're dealing with abuse, then bring out that Kali energy, bring out that fierce warrior goddess energy, because these are all templates, these are all divine anecdotes that we can call upon to harness this fierce power.
Exactly. Deanna, I don't know if you watched from the beginning, but we were just talking about how heavy all our hearts are, and that's why I felt called to come on this live and share our heaviness with you. Not with you, but for all of us to share some of our heaviness so that we can process it for the collective. And so then that happened, and a week after I asked him to leave to his dad's house, I got guidance that I'm ready to now start my YouTube journey, because until he was home, he was constantly mocking me, manipulating me, lying to me, cheating with me. Like, I didn't feel safe in my own house, and it was causing a lot of stress. So that happened, and then a few months later, I got guidance saying, I completely shifted. I said, you know what I did? All his clothes and shoes, he had like all these Supreme and all these fucking designer stuff that his father would buy him. He had so many like even I would go to OVO. October is very OVO, yeah, Drake's brand, and I'd buy him clothes, because that was me showing my love, because he's a teenager, he needs good clothes, whatnot. I was like a super cool mom, but more importantly, very loving, very, very loving towards him. So then I got guidance saying, I'm not going to give you your college fund. Why should I release that to you? You've stole so much money from me, A. You have no gratitude for me, 2. 3, you have really lied, disrespected me.
And stolen from
me and disrespected him. You know how many healings this guy's given him? When I went to Italy, I went to Italy with a friend a long time, like a few years ago, like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And my son was going through intense like fever, flu symptoms. Siman would go to him every single night and give him healings. And there was one night, Siman was actually, this was 5 years ago in Toronto, he was hosting a shamanic medicine ceremony for 6 women. I wasn't present that night, I was in Italy. And when he was hosting that shamanic retreat, the energy of Jesus Christ very clearly, which is quite common in our ceremonies, either Jesus Christ or Metatron, these are the two that usually come in. Usually Metatron, but Jesus comes for other things.
Jesus had been coming more recently.
Yeah. So Jesus Christ came in Siman, and he felt very powerful, like in that state. And you know what he did at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.? He went upstairs when the ceremony was over at 3 a.m. The ceremony was completely over.
The ceremony was still continuing. I told everyone to wait downstairs, and I gave
he went up to my son's room and gave him a healing.
I would treat him like my own son.
And when he left, you know what he said to me? You and your stupid boyfriend, he said something so disrespectful. Basically, he had no respect for me. So I withheld his RESP. And guys, you know, my guides, when I look at my guides, they're like, oh my God, we're so happy that we're your guides. That's the energy I get from my guides, right?
Yeah.
Our guides, they just love us.
Totally, like, this was an example of unconditional love, because the holding back of the college funds is not out of revenge. It's not out of like hatred. It's not out of anger. It's out of unconditional love. And why is this an act of unconditional love? Is because sometimes we need to teach our children a lesson. If we are not there to reflect back the consequences of their actions, then we're not being good parents. So in her case, her child had been spoiled to the max all his life, to the point that he was abusing his like being the center of attention. He thought he could get away with murder. But her parting gift to her son was withholding that college fund, so that he would remember that if you do this, this, and this, there are negative consequences.
Yes.
And our children, that's how they learn. Going too easy on children, I'm sorry children if you're hearing, but going too easy and always
they'll say
always
yes,
giving
right.
them what they want is not good parenting.
Exactly.
We need to be living examples and tell them this is right, and this is if you do this, this is the result.
Maybe many people, I'm getting the message that many people need this message.
Right.
So if you have anything, go deep with this. It's very important right now.
Another thing that's coming up in our collective is that children have not been taught anything of value in school. So moving forward, a lot of people are going to start homeschoolings. They've already started homeschooling, or there's going to be community schooling where we have people teaching the wisdom back to the children. We need to teach them like real life scenarios. We need to teach them how to deal
How to
with...
make a fucking fire.
No, how to deal with your emotions even. Like, we need to teach them the inner world as well as the outer
How to
outer
deal
world.
with your emotions. How to
Yeah.
not project.
We've
How
gone
to...
too much into science.
And
We've
no,
gone-
but baby, we taught Rayan all of that. Like, we taught my son a lot. And
yeah,
you know
but he
what?
wasn't interested.
He wasn't interested, but because in our house, he wanted to act like he was interested. He always acted like he was so into everything we were talking about because he was manipulating me silently and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And holding back that LOC, which is the, not LOC, sorry,
college
his
fund.
education fund, it was so applauded by my guides because A, it teaches him not to disrespect women and not to take women for granted. This is a life lesson. Most mothers would say, oh, my baby, I can't take you away from college. Here's the money. Here's the money. Let me come cook for you. Let me come press your stinky feet. Let me, do everything for you. That has got to stop. That has got to stop right now. We need to take our power back with our own children, with our own spouses, with our own families. It's so important right now. So it's funny because, and then guess what? His father hired a lawyer and sent me an email saying, we're going to go to court because you're withdrawing this. And I hired a much better lawyer that charges like $700 an hour, not some piddly fucking $100 an hour lawyer. And I sent back an email saying, sure, you know what? You want this money released? No problem. But these are the 8 Bitcoins I had lent you that I never got back. This is all the money I never got back. And as soon as I sent that email, his father just said, oh my God, this woman has suddenly become very powerful. In the past, I would have caved. I would not have hired a $700 lawyer. I would have had money blocks. So do you know how I always tell you I exited the matrix from the inside? That's how you do it. You let go of your money blocks. Your whole life changes once you start letting go of these blocks. 5 years ago, I would have caved. When my husband hired a lawyer, I would have said, oh, he hired a lawyer. Oh my God, here's the money. Go, take it. I don't want this stress. I don't want this stress. And now I'm like, honey, you don't know who you're messing with. So it was very, 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 very empowering. What else? So 3-4 weeks ago, somebody from my ex-husband's family wrote to me. This is after 7 years of not being in touch with them. And they said, we need to talk to you about something. And I replied, and they didn't know why I was withdrawing the fund till then, because I never said anything. And I said, you know what, both this guy and his father, so both my son and his father need a big lesson in gratitude, treating women with respect, taking accountability for their actions, blah, blah, blah. And I said, right now, the last thing that this spoiled brat needs is to be handed his college fund saying, go and do college and sleep around with girls and do drugs, and you have no accountability because your stupid mother just released the money. Instead, I said, you know what? Let him go get a college loan, or even better, let him miss university. Let him get the slap on his face. Let him miss a year of university. And this person who emailed me was speechless. It was like, my guides were like, EldoRA, and I sent it in like with an energy. I just typed it up. I didn't even reread it, and boom, I hit send. And it had this energy to it. So when you're working with the light, thank you, Annie. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. When you're working with the light and you make tough choices, the universe has your back. This is huge. This is huge. So I wanted to share that with you. Do you want to say anything about that girl's son, or do we move on to another?
No, I think we use that example.
I'm loving reading all your comments. For any of you who have not yet watched our triggers video, that's an amazing video because it's going to teach you how to handle your triggers, and it's great to teach your kids that. So watch it with your kids. It's called What Are Triggers and How to Heal Them. And if any of you have not yet, I think you all have, but if you haven't yet subscribed to our mailing list, make sure you do, because that's the one way we can stay connected. Once we get your email addresses, they're safe, unless iCloud goes down. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all owned by the same people.
Sorry, I was just reading the comments to make sure there's any messages for us.
Yeah. Did you guys have any questions or anything? Yeah, with my son, absolutely. And the funny thing is, ever since I've cut off my ties with him, I don't feel an emotional connection. I have had to process the hurt very deeply. Like, I've done a lot of healing to let go of the hurt, but I'm rock solid. It's not like I'm craving that void to be filled. I have made peace that I may never see him again. I may have made peace with the fact that he may have had the jab already. It's a completely different, his soul contract and mine ended when he was 17, when I asked him to leave my house. Because instead of having remorse, he had attitude. And guess what I did with all those clothes, the OVOs and the Supremes and his $300 belts? I took them all and dumped them in the Salvation Army. I said, if you can steal my things, I want you to get a taste of what it feels like if your things are taken away. So yeah, I could never, ever dream that I would do something like this. He was a big lesson, of course. He was a big lesson. And then boom, next week, I started my YouTube. 2 years ago, in October is when I asked him to leave my house, and I started my YouTube in November.
I remember that.
Yeah, because all of a sudden my life was stable. I didn't have this, you know.
Crazy.
So many of you are going through intense trials with your children. But Siman had a very good message as well for someone recently, the same lady who lives in an RV who we sent money to. He actually had very good advice. He said, if your son cannot go with, no, not for her, for somebody else who emailed us, and we just happened to see that email. We said, if your son or daughter who's giving you a hard time can live with the other parent, fine. But if not, if there's no other avenue, it means that there's something, it means you may need to learn how to stand in your power. You may need to learn better boundaries. You may need to learn that you're the mother, you're the father, that's your child. And you may need your child to teach you, by pushing your buttons, how to stand in your power. So this can go all ways. Oh, so for you to sign up, somebody asked, for you guys to sign up to our newsletter, just go to houseofra.com. houseofra.com. It's at the bottom. If you go down, it'll just say, it'll give you a box. You add your email address and click submit. It automatically comes in. So whenever we next send out an email blast, it'll go to you as well. That was wonderful, you guys. We're already at 46 minutes. Maybe we'll wrap up soon. So much love. Did you guys like this super informal chat? I said to Siman, it would be so nice to just
felt like sharing this moment with you guys, because this is all that's dear to us. So.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you, Lady Patriot. C. Oh my God. Would love to hear more about your experience with Christ. You want to say anything about your experience with Jesus Christ?
Oh my God, which one, right? We'll go into it in another video.
How about the day you gave you your name? You've talked about that already?
We'll talk about it in another video.
Yeah, we've had some beautiful
Today
experiences.
I just wanted to keep it more informal.
Yeah, we've had some beautiful experiences with the masters. Beautiful experiences. Thank you, everybody. Somebody says we're the cutest. EldoRA. Oh, before I read it, it goes away. So lovely reading all of you. Mary Magdalene. I had to do. Have you spoken to your who since? To my son since? No way. He's fuming with anger and rage right now. If anything, I need to put up shields so that his negativity doesn't pierce my shield. No way. But you know, I was such a different person in my previous life. I mean, with my ex-marriage and my 3D life, I was this total pushover because my whole life I hadn't received love. My whole life. And then I got into this family and they didn't really, and because they were slightly better than my birth family, I was like, oh my God, mesmerized by them. So I let them completely take advantage of me. I let it all. I let them do it. I didn't even know my value, you guys. I didn't know my value, and nobody ever reflected to me that I'm a good person. Nobody ever reflected any of that stuff to me. So I always thought that I'm everything they reflected to me, which is not really such a nice person. Not an organized person, not a clean person, all the opposites of what I really am. So it's been a blessing. I didn't realize who I was until I met Siman. He started reflecting to me how beautiful, sweet, caring, kind I was, and that was a breakthrough for me.
Until you saw it for yourself.
And then when I started seeing it myself, that was a breakthrough for me because I had never seen all of that. No one had ever reflected it to me.
You know what? The fact is that I wasn't actually reflecting anything to you. I was just being who I am with you. And I didn't even realize when we first met that you didn't see all these things within you. For me, that was a shock.
Yeah, because I mean, I met him when I was 35 or 33. No one had ever.
Powerful woman not know who she is. I mean,
so it's very important for every single one watching to start reflecting to you who you are, which is why in our videos we do so much reflecting. If you're sitting here at 49 minutes watching us, and let me tell you one thing, we are a heart frequency. We're a heart frequency. Siman and I are a heart frequency, and you wouldn't sit here and find this entertaining. I like that. You wouldn't even find us entertaining, or you wouldn't even forget entertaining. You wouldn't have a connection with us if you weren't in your hearts. And right now, you guys, you know what the currency is? Those of you who are in your hearts, that's the biggest currency. Which is why when people came to our retreat thinking, oh, we're going to teach them all this textbook stuff, it was the opposite. 5D is not textbook. 5D is all heart. It's about playing like little children, and that causes so much healing that you accelerate in your evolution. So that was so beautiful sharing today with you. Yes, you don't know how to love yourselves. I didn't know how to love myself either, Linda. The way I started was I started taking myself out on dates to the park. I would go out once or twice a week in Toronto, and I had this beautiful park. It was called the Fairy Park, oh my God, in Newmarket. And I had this beautiful tree that I loved. I would lay underneath and I would just journal, and I had magical experiences actually. There was one day I said a prayer for my inner child, and I asked I asked God for a gift. This was 5 years ago. I was not fully awake then. And I remember there was one drop of rain. It wasn't even raining. That literally landed. I was up like this. It landed on my third eye. So I had all these crazy experiences. So I started spending time with myself. Yes, exactly. Someone says I finally learned to love myself.
And
it takes
somebody
time.
gave me a very good suggestion just now. She said, why don't you say something Siman, why don't you say something you admire about EldoRA? And when I was thinking of that, I'm like, there's a lot of things I admire. So I admire the biggest thing I admire about you is your authenticity. I've learned how to be authentic because of EldoRA. I've learned how to connect with my heart before I say yes or no. And that is a very 5D teaching. EldoRA has this wisdom within her that it's just inborn. It's this child playful innocence, but it's so wise. It has all the 5D templates built in. So when I met her, I just felt in love with her innocence. Like she's just who she is. Like, with some people, they'll always keep you guessing. Like they'll be mad at you, but they'll be like pretending everything's fine, and they'll be like subconsciously projecting at you. But with EldoRA, what I love the most is that she's so raw, she's so authentic, she's so fierce.
I can say "fuck you, motherfucker" to his face.
She'll say what's on her mind, so you never have to guess. It's like if you've pissed her off, you'll know it. And what I love about her is that she's so powerful. Like she has the perfect balance of power and femininity. Like when we play, she becomes my girl. And when it's like we're doing business, she's like going at like the speed of a bullet.
Not even girl. Sometimes he says, "You're my little cub."
Yeah. So in business, her masculine dominant side comes in, and in our playtime, her feminine comes in. Aww. So it's a perfect balance.
That's so sweet. And he is my biggest
teacher. And I love
her.
I love her cooking. She's like the best chef ever. And if you guys are ever lucky to enjoy her cooking, it would be a great honor, because she's honestly one of the best Indian cooks
I cook really good Indian food.
Ever had. And we've been to restaurants like all over the world. And another thing, there's so many, it's like, she's just my BFF, and I love her to death.
I think one of the things that so sweet. One of the things that you always say to me that you learn from is how I have such a connection that when somebody is not in their heart, or I don't want to waste time with them.
Oh, she can read people
I can just move
like
on.
An X-ray. Like if you're standing in front of her, you should be shy.
No, don't say that.
She'll read you like a book.
No,
especially if you're being.
I read the people
all
who are
jokes
not
aside,
authentic.
if you're not being authentic, it'll like boom,
instantly.
boom, boom. It's like a beacon.
And I don't waste time with such people. It's like I've learned.
Be in your heart, be authentic, be honest, be yourself, and that's all we ever need to be.
And this guy is my spiritual guide and my spiritual teacher. Seriously, that's our relationship. He's my spiritual guide. He's my spiritual teacher. And you know what his guide said to him? Our guide said to him 7 years ago when we were still dating. They said, so tell them the story about how, so his role in this lifetime, you guys, is to master being an ascension guide to me. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his role is to master being an ascension guide to me. Come this side a bit. And the reason is that, you know how we all go through our ascension and whatnot, we have our own lessons. The lessons for him are totally different. Tell them about what that means. This is very
so my soul's
interesting.
Plan is to be learn how to be an earth guide.
Yes.
So my soul's plan, it's from what I've been shown is that I don't have any karma, negative karma. Like, you know how I'll say you humans, you know, you know how you humans have to like learn all these hard lessons and stuff.
This asshole doesn't have any lessons. He just whiles around through life. But that's good.
I thought, okay, maybe I'm born with a silver spoon in my mouth. But the real reason is that I came here to learn how to be a guide. My guides, when we first met, they showed me that we'll be teaching millions of people, but they said, first teach one, and they were pointing to her, and then
she will teach the millions.
Yeah.
Don't mince words.
Okay, fine, yeah.
They literally said, you teach one.
So she's the golden hen, I just have to train her. So
they always said, you teach one and she will teach millions, and we had no idea what to make of that. Because when we started our YouTube, he made a YouTube. I had no plans of making YouTube. I'm like, me on YouTube, never.
Yeah, I got the best one.
Never ever.
Sure.
So he started YouTube and I'm all excited. I'm like, my partner is a YouTuber. He's teaching, you know, spirituality on YouTube. And then when I started my YouTube channel, he's like, baby, you have this energy to you, which I love. And he became my biggest fan. So it's been crazy. I never, ever would have thought that I'd be a YouTuber.
So somebody said, what does it mean that you don't have any lessons?
Oh, yes.
What that means is that
no lessons,
I don't
no triggers.
piss people off. Like nothing ever happens.
No, it's not that.
Like nothing ever happens
explain.
that I have to like reflect on it.
Let me explain. Let the golden hen
Fine.
explain. Just kidding. So when he says no lessons, you know what it is? Right now, you all know that we're in a matrix. We're in a, what's that word? The mirror matrix. We're a holographic matrix. Meaning, if you need a lesson on fearful ideas, thoughts, and beliefs are attracted into your vortex, so you learn how to overcome that fear. So we all go through all our lessons by dealing with narcissists. He had a narcissist. I guess that was your lesson.
I mean, since we met, it pretty much.
Yeah, his biggest lesson was that he was with a narcissist. But going back to what right now, so for the last 7 years or so, or 6 years since we've been together, he doesn't have any lessons. Do you guys know what that means? It means he doesn't need contrast. He doesn't need polarity to reflect to him, saying, oh, you're still in your ego here, or oh, you still have low worth issue here, or oh, you still have...
I had a lot of lessons going through my ascension, but I feel at this point where I am right now, since the last couple of years, maybe 3-4 years, I haven't had any soul lessons come up. So
his main
I'm hoping that's pretty much it.
His main thing is to hold space for me. That's how our relationship is, to give me healings. For some reason, I feel like I have my earth guide with me. Just like you guys say we are your earth guides, he's my earth guide. And one of the templates that he didn't have, which is why we've always been shown that we're the lock and the key, is he didn't have the
earth experience.
Fierceness, the earth experience.
And I didn't have the fuck you. I was only
he
love
was
and
too
light.
love and light and too like, you know, like namaste.
So she taught me the fuck you.
Yeah, so I taught him the fuck you, and he's a really good fuck you master. But the thing is, I feel like he didn't have the earth experience. So negotiating, business, dealing with people, leadership, standing in your power, like he didn't have those.
Gullible.
He was a bit more feminine. And now and after us coming together, he's balanced his feminine, and now he's more a balanced feminine masculine, and his masculine is shining better than ever before. So we've given each other different codes. I gave him the earth codes, he gave me the galactic codes. And now I'm like getting back to my galactic self, and many of you have seen it in my aura. You guys have seen it in my...
You're activating your galactic light body. That's what it is.
Yeah, so I start looking galactic. So many of
and
you...
your reverse age.
Two love and light. Someone's laughing. So yeah, that's what it is. I feel like we both give each other the other half of the key, and I'm sorry, but we are not allowed to talk about the Tantra. We're not allowed. Our guides have said don't. My God, you guys,
it's not ready
the
yet.
shit we're being taught, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like mind-blowing. It's leading to reverse aging and all kinds of things, and we're not allowed. We always say, we can talk about this in a video, and he gets the strong guidance.
But one of the interesting things that came in, that some of the alignments that were being shown in Tantra, and this will be revealed later when all the curriculum is ready. This is like very
people
advanced curriculum. We're being shown that this is 9D technology. What we're being, the kind of poses we're being shown are literally star alignments. So when we're in a specific pose, we're aligning to certain star frequencies and harnessing the power of those star systems into our light bodies and getting activated. So all of this is going to come in one of our advanced courses, but we're still learning.
We're still learning, and also what we've been told is that this kind of knowledge should not be taught on YouTube.
We have to be very responsible in how we teach this as well. So we have to create a sacred space before we can teach it. We can't just blurt everything out on YouTube like.
Because they also gave him a vision in his third eye. I haven't received this guidance he did.
Many people are not ready for it.
He said, you know, if you start teaching it on YouTube, not everybody who watches us are high vibrational as you guys think. There are many perverts, there are many cheapos.
Many people misuse sexual energy, right? So if you're not pure to begin with, you can't really even have a foundation to start.
So these Stargate alignments are so powerful that when we're in certain positions, something happens. It's like a lock, it just activates.
It locks us into the frequency of that Stargate or portal or star system.
And that helps us harness more chi energy, it helps us reverse
And
age.
it also activates certain parts of our DNA that are galactic.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So the other day we were going through this purging process. And she was going through a purging process, like her belly was feeling very heavy.
By the way, to talk about what he's talking about, the last 2 weeks, I may look all, have been extremely intense for me. I'm going through some major stuff right now. My Kundalini is rising. I'm going through some major stuff, and it's very painful. That's what he's talking about.
So, and it was also some sub-personalities were being shown to us.
They were being extracted.
They were literally, okay, so you know how we have sub-personalities that come over, like a part of your ego sometimes just takes over and you black out. Like let's say somebody really ticks you off, you black out for a few seconds and you just let them have it, right? So that's a sub-personality.
It takes over.
It's like a piece of your personality that becomes this fierce guardian and takes over your behavior patterns. So in EldoRA, it wasn't like this volatile or anything.
It was secretive and hiding.
Personality that was showing up more and more because we're doing a lot of light work to expose the ego right now.
And Tantra, so the ego hates Tantra.
The more light we're shedding on the chakras, this sub-personality was getting irked and showing up more and more. And its main agenda is to create a divide between us. So it always tries to create a rift between us by saying something that it knows will trigger me. So we being the masters that we are, we don't get triggered by each other anymore. So we started watching it like a hawk. So we, anytime the subpersonality peeked its head, we were like, that's it. And we would immediately get into a healing space. So this particular day, 3 days ago, this subpersonality had been boiling.
For 4 days, I was already going through intense pain. So let me tell you what happens. Intense pain in my stomach. I'm talking intense, like a cancer growth, like it's that painful. And every single night,
like stabbing pain.
It was horrible. And every single night, for 2 nights out of the 4 nights, my guides were performing psychic surgery. I kept thinking, I felt like I was in this healing chamber, so I wouldn't feel the pain, but it felt like someone was taking a knife and cutting inside my stomach. And this happened one night, and Siman woke up to go to the bathroom, and I looked at him and I said, I'm going through psychic surgery, but I'm not in pain. I don't need anything from you, because otherwise I would need a healing. So this happened one night, then the next day nothing happened, then the third day happened, and we got strong instructions. Guys, you know I always tell you that 5D is a playground. Let me tell you why. In 5D, our only job is to do Tantra. It's like ridiculous. Sometimes I get so mad at him.
I wouldn't call it a job.
It is a job though.
It's like Pilates.
Okay, fine. Like Siman's in 7th heaven anyway. So those 4 days we were told don't miss Tantra any day because you're going to need it. You're going to need that energy, chi force that you cultivate. You need it. And Tantra is not like technical. Thank God, because I hate technical shit. I hate philosophical shit. I'm not a philosopher. I like to just say it. Ja, ja, ja. I fucking love that. I just like to, live life, enjoy life. And Tantra is not scientific. It's not philosophical. It's just amazing. It's just having...
It's just being.
It's just being and relaxing and letting go of intimacy blocks and all of that. So for 4 days we had to do Tantra, and then on the 4th day...
Tantra, somebody's asking what's Tantra? It's sacred intimacy, but it's with intention and with spiritual focus. So it's actually harnessing the energy of chi within your body and Kundalini while staying focused and being very conscious of your intentions, awareness, and breath.
Yeah, so Tantra is sacred sexuality that has been missing on earth or hidden on earth or very hard to come by on earth because the Cabal know its power. Its power of reverse aging, longevity.
Egyptian scrolls, you'll see like these gigantic gods with huge penises and whatnot, and they're doing all these kind of crazy poses and rituals and ceremonies. So that's because there's a lot of secrets hidden within our DNA that can be unlocked with certain star alignments using sacred sex and sacred intimacy with the proper instruction, knowledge, and creating the proper space. So all of this knowledge is now being returned to us.
And also one of the reasons why we're not yet being given the green light to talk about it on YouTube, this is like super spontaneous, even though this is a major part of our life right now, is also because a certain level of purity needs to be achieved. That's one of it.
You have to be in 100% integrity with each other.
Even we were only taught all this after the retreat.
Otherwise, it's just rubbing against
Guys, I know some of you from the retreat are watching. You know what happened? Before the retreat, Siman and I were human beings, okay? After the retreat, we became galactic. Let me tell you what happened. During the retreat, Isis came into me, which many of you know. Her energy superimposed into me. And Isis is all about sacred sex. And I, because of my past marriage, was not necessarily a highly sexual person because I hated making love to my ex-husband. I had no chemistry with him. And many of you are in that situation. So we go through years and years and years and years and years of sex, which we hate, until we start having so much wounding and so much trauma with sex that we don't really want to have sex. Like I would be, before Tantra, I would be happy with an emotional relationship. Like have sex once a month, I would be happy with that because I was so damaged and wounded. When, not that with him I could get away with it. With him, he's really good at keeping me on track because he can't get enough of me. He's like living in 6D. He's living in 5D. And in 5D, it's all about sensuality, sexuality, love, intimacy. And he embodies that from day one.
Plus, she just drives me crazy, so.
That I do.
That's kind of part of it.
That too. I do. I drive him so crazy. Like I always say to Siman, nothing can get under his skin. Nothing can overwhelm him. He's a master. He's got his shit under control, except me. Right? All I have to do is look at him with this one look, and that's it. He's like melted like putty. So
you're the variable in the equation.
He gets all overwhelmed about me. So anyway, but we were talking about the retreat. So then in the retreat, Isis started coming in every single day almost. Her energy was very palpable. And that was the first time I felt Isis. I started embodying her because my vibration was so high at the retreat in the container we had created. And then Isis, the retreat was finished and we went back to Escazú in Costa Rica and then back to Nosara. And I remember Isis came in very clearly and said, I'm going to start, somebody says Siman wants to end the video. No, he doesn't. Do you?
No, I'm good.
Trust me, he wants to do Tantra after. He's like waiting, when the hell is this gonna get over? She's cutting into my time now.
Well, it'll be over soon. Never mind.
So then the retreat happened and then Isis started training us.
Right.
Isis started training me like crazy.
But continue the story where we left off with that extraction.
We have so many stories.
That's where we started off, right?
So anyway, to cut a long story short, Isis started training me about sex, and between February, since our retreat, and today, I'm very happy to say that I have dropped 99.99% of my intimacy blocks, my sexual blocks, and I have gone so far that made me a viable match to the Florida timeline. How big is that?
And not only that, we also removed...
It's getting hot in the house.
We also had to remove many implants. Like we have crazy stories of how we removed
which I don't even know how I'm going to share because they're so personal.
entities from her sacral. So one day I was giving her a healing in the sacral chakra, and I was focusing on sexual blocks, and suddenly she said, I got the message in my head at the same time as her, and the message for me was, you've just uncovered the snake pit. And I saw this huge coiled up, very fat, very old, very long, coiled up lazy snake like a python. And I didn't even tell her this. And
no, I saw it.
I didn't even tell her this, and she said,
it was this fat.
I sense snake energy, and she saw it in her third eye too.
It was
we
this
both
fat.
saw the same thing.
It was this fat python, and this was when we were at that retreat doing our juice fast after the retreat in Costa Rica. And I remember it was so thick and it was sluggish.
So
it
the
was like
message
this.
that we were getting is that this was a vampiric entity, like a reptilian vampiric entity inside her sacral. It wasn't like a fierce evil entity. It was more like, I just want to draw power from your sacral. But that drawing of her sexual energy made her not interested in sex. So we removed this entity, and we've removed implants. We've removed so many layers. So the main thing I'm sharing with you guys is that Tantra and sex is not just about the human side. There's also a galactic light body energetic side that we need to clear our light body of all these implants that are sucking and harnessing our sexual power for negative purposes.
So this was just one example he gave. So anyway, the good news is after this healing that he gave me, because once it's exposed, okay, this is important, because the snake was not exposed to me because I was not ready to look at it. Meaning, so healing always comes up when you're ready to look at it, when you're ready to do the work. It just doesn't come up and say, all right, now you're supposed to have, like, go start doing Tantra. It never happens like that. Your guides would never play such a dirty joke on you. They are so patient with you. You're so patient with yourself, like your higher self. And the way it happens is, first Isis came in the retreat. She gave me enough time to absorb the magnitude, because there was one day in the retreat that the day we did the holotropic breath work, my vibration went so high. That was the day we were initiated with our robes of light in the higher realms, which if you guys haven't watched it, go back to and watch our retreat video, the shift into 5D.
It's called
Shift into 5D.
The Return of Christ Consciousness.
Something like that.
That's where we talk about everything
we were
that
both,
happened.
like we were both, some ceremony happened in the heavens, like Christed beings, we don't know what it is, and we were told that we are probationary high priest and high priestess, we still are, and that our official titles would kick in when we've passed a few final initiations.
We have to still go through a few initiations.
Of integrity, power, and all of that. So then, so that day my vibration went so high that I couldn't walk. I sat there crying. Akasha, you remember, you came and hugged me on the swing because I couldn't, my vibration had never gone so high and I couldn't handle it. He could, I couldn't. And that's when Isis said, you need to make love. I mean, it's, so not just make love, but right now you need to share code. So I remember we made love, and then immediately I started feeling better. So then I started believing in this sexual, I started believing in all of this. This is just last February I'm talking about. And since then, Isis has been a front runner, but what nobody knew, not me, not him, not our guides, is that I would take to it so much. Because listen, guys, having sex is easy. You can have sex with anybody. But Tantra, you need to be in a completely different space.
Because it brings up your shit. It brings up, in the beginning, when we started Tantra, it brought up all the intimacy blocks. And we literally had to pick them one by one in a healing session.
What is an intimacy block? Let me give you an example. Let's say, which I had this huge fear of losing him. Very subconscious. It's very deep and subconscious. I had this huge fear of losing him. Something would happen to him. I always feel like he's this alien, and I'm like, what if he teaches me everything and leaves? I had this weird energy because he doesn't feel like human that much. Like, I live with him, I know. And other than me, nothing matters to him. So I would always be like, without him, I have nothing. So I had this fear. And that fear comes up as an intimacy block. So you say, oh my God, this is getting too good to be true. I don't want to go deeper and deeper. So fear of losing the other person is just one block. There's a million. So the minute he gave me that healing, that snake, you guys, became the size of a tadpole. Why was that snake shown to us? Because I was finally ready to do the healing. And since then, it's been crazy. There was another throat implant that I had.
Yeah, there was a metallic throat implant, and we both again saw the same thing.
It was a piece of metal in my throat.
It was literally like, it looked like a door handle, and it went all the way from her throat all the way down to her chest.
How
And
do you remove implants? You just have to. So the thing is that you have to set intentions with your angels and guides that you're ready for your implants to be removed. See powerful healers that offer implant
there are
removal.
healers who specialize in implant removal, and we don't, because we do it, we don't go to others, so we can't recommend anyone.
If there's anyone we
But-
know of, we will let you
But
know.
follow your guidance. Like when you contact someone, if they feel good, if they're not judgmental, and if they have good referrals, then
But
go
if
for that.
not, know that your higher self is taking care of you. Your guides, your angels are taking care of you. So I feel like nobody is going to get left out.
And implant removal is something that has to be done for all of humanity. It's like
Oh.
we all have to be like cleaned up. So this is going to happen eventually when the time's right.
Oh, guys, and one more thing I'm getting right now as I'm saying that is, every single time we do transmissions, like the one we did in Mount Shasta, we do implant removals in every single healing
Yeah.
that we've ever offered on YouTube.
And we have sacred tools like this. These are seventh dimensional crystals that we use.
We
And,
have all kinds of tools, even in Toronto, that we don't have here.
Yeah, so these are tools that help us work with the angelic frequencies that allow us to remove implants from specific chakras. So this is not something we can just say. This is an advanced knowledge that in the future we're going to teach.
So for those of you, I was going to make a proper announcement, but for those of you who are still watching, assuming it's just my soul family here, I've been guided to start. For some reason, he doesn't want to do it. It's not his highest calling right now, but for me, I'm being guided to start offering healings and implant removals and coaching and whatnot. So my website is actually being prepared. I don't know how many I'll see because it's not something that I want to do a lot of, but maybe 2 a week. So that's coming up. I'm going to be addressing implant removals in every single healing because it's so needed, it's so important. And so then that snake energy went down, and right now it's only when all of that healing happened and the intimacy blocks were all cleared that now Tantra is being introduced. And you know what my guides tell me? They say, EldoRA, you are flying, because this is something that, you know how I tell you I've done the work from the inside? That's what I mean. I can honestly tell you that getting over my intimacy blocks, I wouldn't say we ever had intimacy blocks. We would always have fun and we were always very sexual with each other, but there's a difference. Having sex is very mechanical. Making love and Tantra is a totally different world, and I couldn't do it with someone I wasn't madly in love with. So,
And also intimacy blocks also sometimes means that when you are not fully open to yourself, when you fully have not received your own love, then it becomes very difficult to allow someone else to love you that much. You can only allow someone to love you as much as you love yourself. So as we go through our own journey of self-love and remove layers of fear and losing another person or any reason for not receiving love, as we love ourselves more and more, then we also become more intimate with others. Then we allow others to love us.
yes. So it's a whole journey. This healing journey is a whole journey. So be patient with yourselves and give yourself 5-7 years. There's no rush. Give yourself time. Don't push yourselves, because if you push yourselves, you'll crash. That's the
don't
mistake.
get frustrated.
Don't get frustrated. Have fun with life. You don't have to get anywhere. You don't have to do anything you're not ready to do. I took my time and I'm flying. I'm flying through my ascension because I take my time. I don't allow, anything. So we're going to end with this extraction that we did because it's incomplete. So anyway, the other story I completed, how the python went from that to a little tadpole. We sucked out all its energy. That python was archaic. It was in me, coiled around my
In the sacral.
sacral area. It was this huge, the python. We both saw it in our third eye very clearly. And it was so lethargic. Every time I'd want to have sex, it would give me these feelings of resistance.
It would pull all
saying,
the sexual energy
I don't feel like
from
it.
her.
And the biggest feeling sensor I had was I'm feeling sleepy. I'm feeling so tired. I'm
Yeah,
feeling
it was
sleepy.
even sleeping when it was discovered. It was literally like it was being disturbed by the light and waking up.
Exactly. And it's like, who the fuck's putting a light on me? How come someone's seeing me after all these centuries, after all these lifetimes? So that was done. The other one that I'm going through right now is that other
That
part.
was the sub-personality.
Yes.
So what happened was a couple days ago, she started feeling this sharp stabbing pain in her gut, and it was all related to the solar plexus healing, as like solar plexus upgrades. And also this egoic subpersonality was showing up a lot more the more we were doing the solar plexus healing. So
Tantra.
in the last couple of weeks, we had seen this ego subpersonality show up more and more. And every time it would show up, it would try to create a situation to cause a rift between us, because it knows that the first thing it has to do is disengage us from each other, because if we're like in this harmonious mindset, then we immediately go into healing and extraction. So now we were onto it, right? Because we see its pattern. So when it showed up, we immediately got the guidance that there's a specific pose that we need to do with certain movements. So a tantric pose with certain movements aligned to her spine to run Kundalini energy through her spine. And in the back of her solar plexus, where the spine is, we had to do certain movements.
I'm just going to share this with you. I'm just going to share this with them. It's fine. My guides will not mind. So this pose is, and listen, there's 573 people. There are soul family. There's no perverts here. So this pose is, the guy is lying down. The girl is lying on him. I'm talking about a guy who is close to Christ consciousness, not just any guy you find on the street. In fact, don't do it with any guy. I'm talking about pure Christ consciousness.
In any open relationship where both partners are not intimate and you don't know the energy of the other person, this can also backfire. So we're not telling you to just go and practice with anyone.
Yeah, it has to be very clean energy exchange.
It has to be very sacred.
So this particular one to raise the Kundalini is where he's lying down. There's a yin and a yang version. I'm going to tell you the yin version. And then, so he's lying down, like it could be anywhere. It doesn't even have to be in your bedroom. It can be in your living room. Set your sacred space. And I would sit on him in child's pose and put my head down. Okay, so I would sit on him, but he would be in me. And it's super yin. I don't have to do anything. I would just put my head down, and then he would, for like 20 minutes, we use coconut oil. We use organic coconut oil on my spine, and then he would move the Kundalini energy up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Not heavy, not deep massage, just normal massage. But because we can see with our third eye, we know exactly what's going on. Tell them what's happening.
So basically, this whole ego subpersonality, the energetics of the ego subpersonality was being generated from the solar plexus, but it was stuck to the back of her spine. So you have to be able to see from the third eye to know what you're doing. So when we brought up the Kundalini energy from the back of her spine into the back of the solar plexus and shown that Kundalini energy into this ego subpersonality, it became so unbearable for that energy of that ego subpersonality that it literally had to come out.
Let me tell the rest of it. So it literally had to come out. So you guys remember I said they were doing psychic surgery? Those 2 nights when I was in bed, and it was intensely painful. That was not even the main day, you guys. This was 4 days ago. I'm talking about 4 days ago. I took a healing day. It was so intense. And so they were loosening up. They were my guides, my angels, which is why I say, don't worry. Your guides have your back. You don't need some powerful healer. If you don't have access, you don't have to worry. Your guides got your back. They were cutting this subpersonality from my stomach. But what helps is when you're psychic, like because we both are fully open, we can see everything. That's a gift by itself.
And everybody has these powers.
You just
it's
have
just
to
a
activate
matter
it.
of harnessing them.
So then what happened, I'll go back to the position in a second. No feet facing or anything. You just lie, you just sit on the person and you go into child's pose. Your feet are behind and you just lie on the person. Very yin, very yin. The person's just going like that. And it's very, 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 very yin. Even the girl can do that for the guy as well. It doesn't have to just be the other way. So back to the subpersonality. This was 4 days ago. So at night, for 2 nights, they cut through my stomach and I felt intense pain, and then nothing happened the next day. But on the 4th day, the 2 of us had a fight. This was what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
We never fight. These days, I'm talking once a year if we fight, and always our fights these days are only to show us what ego or what trauma needs to be healed. So the subpersonality had to be brought to the surface, which our guides always orchestrate our fights. We had a fight, and when we fight, we always separate. Like he goes to the library or to the gym or whatever for a few hours. And that day he went out, and then he came back. Like he went out all day. He came back at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or something. And as soon as he came back, I was fine. He was gone. I was totally fine. I didn't even miss him because we had a fight. I was like, I don't care. Let him stay out for a bit. I need my space. Even he didn't miss me. Guys, he came back and boom, this pain got so intense. I'm sure all of you are like watching with you're like, I can feel your energy, everybody. Especially Wojtek. Merlin. We renamed Wojtek Merlin because he's so Merlin, and I like Merlin much better. Because Wojtek is like so...
he even looks like Merlin.
He just looks like Merlin. He is Merlin. That's why we love each other so much.
And he's studying to be a wizard. Go figure.
Anyway, so, okay, I'm fading out. Back, it's the wine. So back to the story. So then on the 4th day, this... okay, we fought, he got home, and now when he gets home, imagine, we've had a big fight, so we're both in our ego, we're both like not talking to each other, which happens once a year. In that state, my stomach pain got so intense. I'm talking 10 on 10. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know what's happening, but my stomach pain is bad. And he didn't take me seriously. He was just heating up the food and acting all aloof. And I looked at him and I said, I really need help right now. And then he's like, oh shit, she needs help. So he came and he started giving me some healing, and his healing didn't work, which never happens. Usually the minute he starts healing me, within 5 minutes, I feel great. I'm like, guides, I need your help. His healing's not working. I literally said this out loud. I'm like, guides, angels, I need your help. I'm really going through pain. I don't want to call 911. This was that intense, like a C-section kind of pain. Like my tissues were being cut out. And then, guess what our guide said? Do Tantra. Imagine in this state of fight. This is why you can't do Tantra till you get through all your blocks. And most people are stuck in their healing, in their trauma, and all of that. Until you heal all that, you can't even get to Tantra. So when they said Tantra, our ego was like, they're never going to do Tantra. They just had a fight. Getting over a state of fight and doing Tantra happened instantly for us, right? Because we've harmonized our ego. We did that same pose I'm telling you about, where he rubbed my back. And you guys, I said to him, I'm going to faint, I'm going to faint, I'm going to faint. And at the same time, I'm sorry to be gross, but you guys are soul family. At the same time, I said, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. It felt like gas, yes. It felt horrible, like a C-section surgery.
She looked like she was going to throw up. Like there was one point, she was walking to the the restroom, and she started crawling because of the pain, because she thought she might fall.
This was 4 days ago.
So I had to like put water on her.
No, so we're doing Tantra here, and then I run to the bathroom because I have to go to the bathroom real bad. And as I'm going to the bathroom, I faint, and I'm fucking butt naked, and I fall on the tiles. We have white tiles. I fell on the floor butt naked, and he got a pitcher of water, and I was passing out, like I was passing out. And he says, I'm going to pour some water on you. Just hold it for a second. And that's what did it. Like, it's like that feeling when you're overdosing, but we were not overdosing. We were fully sober. So he poured water on my back, and I was like, ugh! It just like zapped me. He did like 3. Remember how I zapped?
Yeah.
And then I stood up because I had to go to the bathroom real bad, and he didn't know that. And I started walking through the water, and he's like, whoa, 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 you're going to fall and break your face. Like, it was intense. And I said, no, I know what I'm doing. Okay, sorry to be gross. So then I went to the bathroom, I sat down, and boom, I had the biggest bowel movement, and this man or this sub-personality just went out of me, you guys.
It was a small masculine personality.
It's crazy.
And we both literally saw it like coming out with the bowel.
And I was told that he would either come out, this sub-personality ego would either come out in my puke, because I was ready to puke, as well, like it's either or. The minute I had my bowel movement, it was like a 1 second, it was like a 2 second thing. I was like, I'm fine now.
Yeah, she was literally like went from 911 emergency to being fine in like 3 seconds.
And then we were told, go back to the Tantra, because now all this black goo is still in your spine. Remember?
Yeah.
So then, and I was still in pain, but not
then we removed
crazy.
black goo from her spine.
So we did the same thing. I lay down in child's pose, that's my favorite pose. I just lie on him in child's pose, and then he takes coconut oil, and he starts from the base of my spine, and he goes up and up and up. And what he's doing is he's creating the golden fibers for my Kundalini awakening, right?
Yeah.
So every single day in our healings, what he's doing is he's removing this goo from my back, So it was very powerful, you guys. And I feel like all of this is happening, and every single one of you is going to go through every single one of this. I mean, everything has to go. We have to be fully healed before we ascend. And I have a feeling that I've overcome my habits of not eating good. Like we both eat fairly good. I mean, we're not crazy like healthy eaters or anything. This morning I had a chocolate croissant. We're not like that, but we're back in balance. We know we've cracked the code of how to keep ourselves in balance.
We're intuitive eaters.
Second thing we've done is we've really, yeah, black goo, that's the reptilian goo that's in our spine. And for anybody watching, you're all going to go through this path by hook or by crook. You will be led. You don't have to think, how do I do this? Your guides have your back.
It's all going to be orchestrated
I cannot stress
for you
that
when
enough.
the time's right.
When the time
if
is right.
If it's too early, you can't have this healing even if you try.
Yes.
Because your body will overreact to the healing. Some healings, like removal of implants, cannot be done until you're at a certain level of soul consciousness. And otherwise you remove an implant and suddenly so much light gushes in that you can't even handle it. So don't be in a rush to go through your healing process. When you're ready, your soul, your higher self will connect you with the right healer.
And guess what? What made this entity, I call him an entity, subpersonality, entity, whatever. This is an entity that's been living in me for so long, it wrapped inside my solar plexus, because he's become a subpersonality based on all my childhood trauma. So he's become this guardian of me. So what happened when we did Tantra, that's why our guide said, do Tantra now. So when we did Tantra for literally 2 minutes, the light of Tantra, our root chakras meeting was so insanely powerful that this, Siman calls him the gnome, like G-N-O-M-E. This gnome became so unbearable that he had to leave and he's out. So then Siman again removed the black goo from my spine in the same position.
And her stomach even looked lighter. It looked like she had shed like 5 pounds.
My stomach was hard. It was
Yeah.
crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that's our story. This happened just 4 days ago, and stuff like this is always happening to us, to be honest. Not this intense, but this is our
stuff.
life.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't tell you guys the half of it.
we don't tell you 98% of it, because our life is literally, and this is what's going to happen once you're all done and you're living your 5D life, you've cut ties with toxic family, toxic friends, you've realized that, you know, all of this is just bullshit and nothing matters more than your ascension. When you get on your path, when the time is right, becomes a 5D playground. We're in a 5D playground. Every single day we do Tantra. We have time for everything. And listen, if we go 2 days without Tantra, I start feeling tired. I start feeling fatigue. I start feeling exhausted. I start feeling older, right?
Yeah.
Tantra is the missing piece in today's society, and I can't wait to start teaching all of this.
These are all ancient teachings that our ancestors, like the very advanced civilizations, they knew how to harness the power through Tantra. So this is all going to be returned to humanity, because this sexual knowledge has also been stolen from us to keep us disempowered and always keep men and women. And Tantra is not about men and women. It can be in any same-sex marriages or
we have not been taught that. Have you been shown that? I don't know about that.
I've been given guidance about that very clearly. And
Okay,
somebody
I
asked
haven't.
even if they can practice Tantra on their own. Yes, absolutely you can, because it's just a set of
Connection.
movements and breath which can be easily achieved on your own. And
We
it's
have
not
not-
always about ejaculating or anything like that. It's all about movement of energy.
And there's one thing I want to mention here. A lot of spiritual teachers teach this concept, which I think is actually, I cannot say for a fact that it's wrong, but this is my guess. A lot of people have this stupid, I shouldn't even say stupid, because what if I'm wrong? They have this theory that men shouldn't ejaculate, that they should injaculate. Have you guys heard that? Many spiritual people talk about that all the time. They're like, oh, we don't ejaculate, we injaculate, and we're so spiritual. Wrong. What we're being taught is that that's the opposite. That's the reverse matrix. That's the invert matrix. Imagine saying to a guy, don't ejaculate. Just hold it at that moment, just hold it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But at the same time, we haven't done like our research in this topic in depth to arrive at a very
Yes.
firm conclusion.
We're not sure of
so
this.
we're always open to learn. If there's something we don't know, then we're going to be open to that.
Yes. Under Natalie, I just saw you. I love you guys. So 12 or 13 of the people who came to our retreat are coming to House of Ra. I'm so excited to see you all. That's going to be so amazing. All right, you guys, that was amazing chatting with you all. Love you all. Naz asked how my fistula is doing. Again, a magical recovery. Thank you for asking. The fistula was only there to A, teach me how to eat better, and B, get my ass to Florida. Because if you guys hear my fistula story, it's another miraculous story, but I'll say it real quick here.
We went to a surgeon in Costa Rica when I had my fistula, and it was so painful. And the surgeon said, I'll have to do surgery next week. And then I said, is there someone you know in the state? Do you know someone who's like an expert? And he says, the top guy in the world is in Florida. And in our head, we're like, okay, we're not going to Florida. We live in Costa Rica. So the guy says to us, here's his name, here's his number. He works at this hospital in Florida. And as we were leaving the surgeon's office in Costa Rica and going home, we both got the guidance saying, holy shit, we're meant to go to Florida to get treatment for this fistula. So we flew to Florida completely to meet this surgeon, even though we left, and in those 10 days or 5 days, we realized we don't want to be in Costa Rica anymore and all of that. It's the fistula that actually got me to Costa Rica, and then to Florida. And then we went to meet the surgeon, who was a horrible 3D guy, like this big guy. He's like Dr. House, full of himself, full of arrogance, full of ego.
And he walks around with an entourage of nurses.
And so anyway, I did that. I even went for a fucking ECG. What did I do?
Yeah, I think.
Not ECG. What's that
oh
place?
yeah,
MRI.
MRI.
It was horrible. I went through all this torture, and 2 days later, Siman was. We were just lying in bed, and he felt the need to put his hand on my sacral chakra, or somewhere on one of my chakras, my root or my sacral, I can't remember. And he says, I don't know, baby, but I'm getting the message that there's going to be a miraculous healing, and you're not going to need anything. You're not going to need any doctor. You're not going to need any surgery, and you're just going to heal. And literally, this was after we came to Florida, and it's healing. I don't need any doctor. I don't need any surgery.
We've been giving it regular energy healings, and so far it's progressed very well.
Someone's asking what's wrong with Siman's face. Nothing's wrong, but we feel like he's going through some ascension symptoms.
Yeah, I get spots appearing on my face once in a while, and then they disappear on their own.
His theory, because they never ever come. His theory is that they surfaced the very first time during our retreat in Nosara. Literally on the 5th day, he started getting all these spots, and we're like, is he like processing their darkness? We don't know, but it keeps coming and going, and I hope it goes. He's not too bothered about it.
Yeah, no, the message I'm getting is it's just like processing some energy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also reported like skin, kind of like random things popping up on the skin. So it's definitely something related to ascension energy. But the message I'm getting is that it's going to clear out on its own.
Yes. And I love that he doesn't care. He doesn't even like worry about it. That's what I mean. He's like a master. He doesn't care about these things. I love you guys so much. It was such a nice chatting with you all like this. I love these random, unprepared ones. You see how many areas we can go? We can go into so many different areas like this. Thank you all so much. Under Natalie, I love you. I love you guys so much. Aww. We're reading your comments. We're not quite. I love you too. Aww. This is so amazing, you guys. You see how nice Soul Family feels? We don't have family, but we have you guys.
So happy that we shared this day with you guys.
Yes.
It feels complete now.
I love you all. Take care, my friends. Take care. So much love to all of you. We are in such exciting times. All the things, all the healing that we're going through, every single one of you has already gone through, or you will be going through. We're all walking our path of ascended mastery. We're all Christed beings. We're all from the family of love, from the family of Ra, from the family of light. And we are here. Someone says, don't go yet. I know, time just flies. It's 100 minutes. Woo! Thank you all so much. You take care. And tomorrow when we go to my favorite brunch place, we will post some pictures then of me eating crab. Don't get triggered.
Or Nutella.
Oh my God, Nutella. All right, so I guess, shall we call it a night?
We'll call it a night. Take care.
Take care, everybody. I love that. It's just like going crazy, the comments. Okay, everybody. Bye now.